Hey, it's Darlene from Link Family 6.0, and it is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. I am getting ready to paint our front door and garage door. Yeah, so let's get started. Here is our front door. I taped off the glass, and then I taped off the bottom rubber part. And I have our garage door right here, and as you can see, I already started painting. It's gonna be a deeper blue than that. It's actually anchors away. Okay, I'm gonna share some tips to help those of you who wanna do things yourself, DIY, to save you some time. So one thing I definitely learned the hard way was not to use a foam brush, but instead to use a paintbrush with bristles to get into the crevices. Using a foam brush doesn't work very well. It is not efficient and you spend forever doing it. So take it from me, just use a bristle brush and save yourself some time. Okay, now that I got all of these, the interior little molding done, I'm going to use my roller and I'm gonna paint the rest. Tip number 2, paint the sides of your door first. Now, painting a door may seem like an easy task, but apparently there are different steps and procedures to do it, and you're supposed to start with the sides. Even though I Googled this and I knew it, I completely forgot and didn't. So remember, start with the sides. Okay, the third tip I have for you is to not be afraid of the paint. Don't be afraid to put a little more on your paintbrush or on your roller. So I was terrified of messing this door up since it's gonna be on our house, and I didn't put very much paint on my paintbrush or my roller so that it would dry the right way, and it just, everything I read said don't put too much paint. Well, there's also such a thing as not putting enough paint, because it took me like 4 or 5 coats just to cover this door and get it the color it was supposed to be. Now the second door I started working on, I put way more paint on, and it did not take me nearly as many coats. So lesson learned, don't be afraid to put on a little extra paint. Tip number 4, your first few coats do not have to be perfect. Yes, you should take your time and do a nice job, but I mean, look how many times I am going over this paint with the roller, like 50 million times, because I want it to be perfect. Well, the bottom coat isn't even what shows. So just put it on, do a nice job, do not spend forever. It'll be okay. You can sand and stuff later and reapply your next coat. You'll save time if you do not try to be a perfectionist the first coat. Tip number 5, do not freak out about the color. I repeat, do not freak out about the color. So my first coat, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the color that I picked. I do not want my doors to look this color blue. Well, after the second and third coat, it still didn't look how I wanted it, and I was like, I picked the wrong color and this is gonna look terrible. Okay, when it's all said and done and it actually dries, it will look the color it is supposed to. Just give it time. The color darkened up so much and looked so much better. Okay, so I had to come back the next day to finish this little project of mine. I painted these doors 3 times. This one obviously looks a little bit better because I haven't sanded it yet, but I just sanded this one a little bit to help my hopefully 4th and final coat stick. I did not realize how many coats it takes when you are doing a primed white door and want it really dark. So hopefully the 4th time will do the trick. Okay, 4th coat is done. I had a little bit of trouble taking the tape off and had to do a little bit of touch up with that, but I imagine that's because I waited until the next day to do my final coat. But I love the color. It's so pretty. It looks so much better than when I started. It is the deep navy blue that I wanted. So yay. Only have the, I guess, outside of the doors to paint, which that's going to stay white, and then all of the interior doors.